I will indeed today present a feature which will allow you to share and to release your openCARP experiments. And so this feature is called the bundle feature, and it is implemented in CARP utils, so it will work only if you implement your experiments using CARP utils. So the aim of this feature is to create self-contained bundles of your experiment. So basically you have a local experiment and your aim is to be able to share this experiment with other people so that they're able to run their experiments on their own computer. And also there is another part, which is the ability to share, to release the experiment in a persistent way according to the FAIR principles, which is in this case the possibility to release the experiment on the RADA for KIT repository, which is a research data repository where your releases will be associated with a persistent identifier, which is here a DOI. There will be also a license associated with your experiment and also some structured metadata in order to describe your experiment and also to give information about the environment in where the experiment was created. So, so first of all, today I will do a short version, but the whole documentation about this feature is available on the openCARP website. If you go into community and then share experiments, you will have access to the complete documentation of the bundle feature. So this bundle I'm talking about, what is it in practice? So it will be an archive which will contain your experiment. And so this archive will contain all the files necessary to run your simulation. And also in your script and in your parameter files, the path to the files that you're using will be modified so that they're relative to the bundle, so that your experiments can be run from any location. And also this bundle will contain structured metadata, which will describe both your experiment and yourself as an author. And optionally, you can add your simulation outputs to the bundle. It can be useful, for example, if you want to archive an experiment and expose your results as much as your code. In practice, there will be 2 steps to create a basic bundle. So the first step is that you have to tell which files are necessary to run your experiments, and so you have to tell which files have to be included in the bundle. For this, you will have to modify slightly your script, the main script of your experiment. So for example, here you have a standard comment where you add the VTX file option to openCARP, and you add a file called stim as VTX file. And this file has to be included in the bundle so that your simulation can be run. And so you will have to encapsulate the path to this file into the tools.simFilePath function. And basically this function just tells, I want to add this file in the bundle because it is necessary to have this file to run my experiment. And so if you're not using the bundle option, this function does nothing. It just returns what you give it as an argument. And if you use the bundle option, then the file located at this location will be added to the bundle. And also, if this path is, for example, an absolute path, it will be transformed so that the path become a path relative to the bundle, and so that if you give the bundle to someone else, they will be able to run the simulation without modifying this path. And once you did this, you can create the bundle. In order to do this, you run your simulation the usual way with all your arguments, and you add the -- bundle option associated with the name you want to give to your bundle, and then your bundle will be created as a zip archive. So this is the basic way to create a bundle, but you have additional possibilities. So you can, if you want, include supplementary material and files in the bundle. The best way to do this is that if there is a directory which is named external or mesh in the experiment directory, then their content will be added to the bundle automatically. So if you want to add additional material, the best way is to create a folder named external and to put your material here, and it will be automatically added to the bundle. If you want to include your simulation output to the bundle, you can use a supplementary option, which is called bundle-output. And then the outputs produced by the simulations will also be added to the bundle. And also, so when you create a bundle, there is a metadata file, which is automatically added to the bundle. In there are some metadata about openCARP, about your experiment, the date of creation, etc., and also about you. If you added your name, your email, and your org ID to the CARP utils settings files, this will also be added to the bundle. But you can also customize your metadata file and add additional information. And in order to do so, you can use a CARP utils script, which is called generate metadata. And if you use this script in your experiments folder, then the metadata file will be created. You can modify it. And when you create the bundle, this metadata file will be added. And so if you followed what Kari presented before, this script should be in your path, and you should just have to write the name of the script to execute it. So this was for creating this self-contained bundle that you can share with others. Now let's see how you can upload this bundle. And for example, what you can do is to upload it on a Git repository. So I will give here an example using the gitlab.com platform. So you will first have to create an account on GitLab. And then you can upload your experiment on a repository on GitLab. And in order to do so, you have to run your experiment using the bundle option as before. And in addition, you have to use the push bundle option and give the path to the repository where you want to upload your experiment. And by doing this, the bundle will be uploaded to GitLab. And in addition, there will be an MIT license file, which will be added to the bundle so that you can have a base for licensing your experiment. And so, yeah, you can do this. The thing that you have to know is that the repository here, it has to be either non-existent on GitLab, it will be created automatically if it doesn't exist, or it will have to be empty. If there is, for example, a README file on the repository, then the upload won't work because the repository has to be empty. And then the third step you can do, you can ask for a release of your experiment on the Radar for KIT research data repository. So on this repository, the release is done in accordance with the FAIR principles. And in particular, your experiment will be described with structured metadata, and it will be associated with a persistent identifier. So in particular, your experiment can be cited once it's released on this repository. And so in order to ask for a release of your experiment, you can run the same command as before using the bundle and push bundle option. And you can add the release bundle option. And this will actually generate a link, which will be an email that is created. And if you click on the link, or if you execute the link in your navigator, a pop-up will open with a pre-filled email containing your name, the link to your Git repository. And if you send this mail, it will go to the experiment curators of openCARP, and then we will proceed in order to release your experiment on Radar for KIT. So I think I'm running out of time. I don't know at which time I started, but I would like to show you in practice what it can look like to create a bundle. So for example, here, I don't know if you can read my screen or, yeah. Here I have an experiment. The main script is called run.py. So this is a standard CARP util script. And so what I said is that what you have to do first is to tell which files are necessary for your experiment. So here I have two. I have this parameter file. As you can see, I give the path to this file as an absolute path, which is not recommended at all, but I just want to show you what is done with this path when creating the bundle. So I have to encapsulate this path in tools.simFilePath function. I will do the same with my second file that I'm giving as an input to the simulation, which is this btx file. And now I'm ready to go to create the bundle. So I will execute my simulation with an option, which is ground, which is set as enforced. And then I use the bundle option. I will call my bundle no ground. I will push my bundle on a Git repository whose path is here. And I will ask for a release of my bundle. I execute my simulation. Oops, seems that the server is a bit slow. Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. That was not. I forgot to change this file. I will just modify my file. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. I forgot a parenthesis here, and now. Okay, so the simulation is running. And it's really, the bundle is really made for the simulation you are currently running. So let's just wait 9 seconds. Okay, so as we can see here, we have now a folder named No Ground Bundle. And if I go to No Ground Bundle, I can see that I have my file. In external, I will have all the external files that are necessary to run the simulation. In the run.py file, we can see, for example, here that the paths were adapted to the bundle because it was moved into the external folder. And also we can see that we have a metadata file that was created. I let you have a look at it, but you have information about the author, about openCARP, etc. And you will also have a license and a notice file, which is auto-populated with your name if you gave it to the openCARP utils settings file. And here you have a bundle that is uploaded on GitLab. So I can now find it here on my GitLab as a repository. And now if I look at the output of my command, I have here a mail to link that I can use. So here I can put it in my navigator. And this will open a new email with the link to my repository, which will be sent to the openCARP experiment curation list. And if you send with this email, we will look at your experiment and release it on Radar for KIT. So this is the full pipeline. You can, of course, only use part of it, but this is an overview of what's feasible with the bundle feature. And I invite you to look at the documentation on the openCARP website. And also, if you have any trouble, any question, don't hesitate to go on the question and answer system. And yeah, and we will be glad to keep on developing this feature if it's useful to you.